with you Riverside Park in Salida, Colorado, for this very important talk. Now, while the video may not be crystal clear, the message will be. And this is not a new topic. Before there was this group in Crestone that later was featured in the HBO documentary film, I was talking about the future of groups like that from the past. So 10 years ago, I put together a 2-hour presentation basically warning people about the future of those types of new age MAGA cults, basically, which are the progression of ignorance. Out of the 1970s, out of the 1980s, we saw the New Age movement and the veneration of the Greys. What is happening now in Crestone, and we'll just start there before we get into the Love is One cult. Now, the ignorance of the modern human being is going to see the Love is One cult in Crestone as an isolated incident. But when you understand alien veneration, when you understand witchcraft, when you understand white supremacy, when you understand Donald Trump's agenda, when you understand the matrix, when you understand what's going on, then it's very easy, actually. You don't have to have a PhD, but it's going to seem like you have a PhD. It's very easy. These modern white supremacists keep using new tactics to pull people into their system. Number one, the main age movement is not love and light. It's to issue the stand down orders, right? So if you can imagine the United States government, they issued the stand down orders to allow the 911 attacks to occur. People with intelligence actually remember this, remember what happened in the United States on 9/11. So the New Age movement is issuing the stand down orders so that people actually don't fight injustice. And there is mind control and just people that are just naturally hateful and naturally stupid. Like I said, it's in the people that are just naturally hateful and naturally stupid. Like I said, it's in the blood, stupid. That there'll be like all these atrocities happening around them in the 80s, in the 90s, and the 2000s, but they'll still be hula hooping that they're goddesses and stuff and becoming enlightened, and they're actually just being radiated by cell phones and cell phone towers and getting like, drug like effects. They're confusing for spirituality because they wouldn't know a spirituality or a spiritual man if it flew down from the heavens and started screaming at them. They would just call the cops and feel threatened. So moving along, like the HBO special, the first 2 hours of it. Now, I don't know about them, but in general are so feminized. They like the fact women hate men here in town, and they're all about it. They're all about women who hate men because they're getting something from the physicality, and that doesn't work on me. But they're playing with that fire at that library. How to kill a man, how to destroy a man. They literally have books like that on the shelf, and so that is also part of the New Age alien agenda, by the way, is basically getting rid of stone with alien worship, is continue to Photoshop going to the spacecraft. Hence, beat me that we're on a dark program of trusting entities with green skin while governments go to war and destroy humans with tan skin through a genocide. I am right in what I said 20 years ago, that the New Age movement is issuing stand down orders, telling people that it's negative to be grounded, to understand the difference between right and wrong. Also, you can see an overlay and a parallel between Donald Trump calling immigrants aliens, and that sort of a thing. And then the right wing calling them creatures. And then when you look at the New Age movement and the channelers, they're constantly declaring that they are gods and goddesses, and that people that are not gods and goddesses, or however you might want to put it, those are the creatures to be destroyed. And so when you look at what my mother believed back in the past about that there would be a rapture, that the aliens would take the good humans up to the spacecraft and the bad humans would be left down on the ground to be destroyed. So that was the 1980s that she was into that. And they were all into that, bro. Your society went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs all throughout the 1970s and 1980s and 1990s. So many of your women were acting like crackheads, acting like we're about to go to the space, we're about to be lifted up, and you need to take accountability for it because you literally have now a new fascist world government coming who's going to take the old talking points of the New Age movement, and we're going to have a Reich. A Reich. We're going to have a Reich from the New Age movement. No love and light, no free love, no men being respected for being decent. We're going to have a Reich. And you should listen to Queen of the Reich by Queensryche from 1984. And then, take a real look at what I call sexual fascism, which is something that we'll have to come back and talk about later. Because these women do rule the world through the people that they're choosing to be with and the forms of life that they bring in. They do rule the world through their control of that. And so through free will, they have not yet done their duty to create a better world without them. If you take a look at this environment here, it's all the same human coming through at this point. And it's sad. And so you got to understand that cult in Crestone, its influence continues. So even if Amy Carlson is dead, right, and they talked about it on HBO, once you have a bunch of people in that type of a town and that reality, and it was existing before the group, that like to give their power away, that like to give their intelligence away, to cults and groups, and basically people that are players and masterminds, people that like to play games, people that are not authentic. So it was like that in the past. And then with the group gone, you'll have the dynamics of the cliques still in operation. So you have the cloud station, you'll have the different businesses there. And then you'll have, even though Amy Carlson passed on in 2021, again, when you watch the HBO documentary, and you can find it online, the group are now. They like to follow somebody they consider hot or sexy because it fits what society says. And through that lust, essentially, but as you learn about Amy Carlson, she liked the bad boy. There was that obvious pattern over and over and over in these men being abused. They're not actually spiritual, that are scumbags, that are criminals, that are part of those ones. That's giving love and light to destruction. Light that deserve it, that don't get anything. Don't even have my cat. Now the animal female abandoned me too, along with all the humans. So now the war is on. The war is on to convince me to destroy myself or others. I'm going to continue to lecture to the world that it's actually waging war on me for no reason whatsoever. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll with Satan at the head. Thank you for watching. I'm glad that he updated the channel.